All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Unfortunately, I'm sad and despondent to say this is our last session. This is our last. How many people raise your hand if you're happy that this is our last session? Raise your hand if you're happy that this is our last session. No one's happy that this is our last session?
Teacher, you should say who sad, not who happy.
That's my next, but that was my next question. Raise your hand if you're sad if this is our last session. All right, good. Well, Omar's not sad, and Trad's not sad, and Jude Ali, I guess they're really happy. But no, I want you guys to know, ladies and gentlemen, to know that I will be available for you and to you all throughout this year. So you guys stay in the WhatsApp group. Don't delete yourself on the WhatsApp group. If you're having any issues throughout the school year, throughout these semesters at your university, just let me know. Even if it's not English related, I can try to help you. So I will be your mentor, regardless of whether you are going to KSAU or wherever you're going, KSU, Alabama, wherever you are, Demam, Kobar, Taif, Afuf, wherever you are, you can always contact me either through the Google Classroom or WhatsApp. You have my WhatsApp number. Stay in the group. It is, students do better when they operate as a group. And so you guys are a group. Stay in contact with one another, talk to one another. When you guys are having issues, you get confused about something, use the group. Also use your professors at your university, use all the resources your universities are giving you and offer you, but also know that you have a resource with us here in this session, in this group. The Google Classroom will be available to you all the time. So I'm not going to shut it down. You will always have access to the Google Classroom. Okay. You will also have access to my videos. You can do the Google Classroom. You can get into my YouTube account, my YouTube channel, and you can follow me on my YouTube channel because I put everything educational on that channel. And again, if you're having any issues, whether it's English related or just you're frustrated about something related to school, university, you can always message me on WhatsApp or in the Google Classroom. I'm not sure who's that. Is that Lubna with your hand raised?
Yes, teacher, I have a question.
Yes.
At the beginning, thank you for you to be available all the time. And teacher, everything in Google Classroom be available or
Everything will be available
all the time or
all
just
the time.
Okay, so I can use anything in Google Classroom.
All the time. And then there'll be new stuff that I'll add too. So you can use the Google Classroom all the time. If you need me to put something up, you don't understand something that your teacher is teaching you or your professor is teaching you, even if it's not English related, I will put things up in the Google Classroom. So you say, I don't understand this, I'll try to put a video or some worksheets up for you. Okay.
Okay, thank you, teacher. Also, can you write your account in YouTube in classroom?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put it in the classroom. But if you if you click on one of the videos, my account should
Ah,
come up.
all the video here
I'll
for your
post it to my,
account.
they're posted to my
Thank
YouTube.
you.
Okay.
What's name
Uh,
for your YouTube account?
that's a good question. What is my name? I think it's my name, but I gotta check.
Ah,
I'm not.
same name.
I think so. Hold on a second. Yeah, it's my name, Raynor Roberts.
Thank you.
Yep. So just my name. This the name you see on Zoom. That's how you can follow me on YouTube. Um. Yep. So this is not, although this is officially our last day as far as student affairs or the student fund is concerned. You can utilize me at any time, ask me questions, send me a WhatsApp. WhatsApp tends to be the best way for me. You can also follow my TikToks. I try to put a lot of motivational things on TikTok. My TikTok is, I think is, what is my TikTok handle?
Doctor.
I think it's 97 spiders. Is that my TikTok? Some of you are following me on TikTok already. I think it's 97 spiders. Yeah, Omar.
You sent a link at group WhatsApp for your TikTok.
For my whole.
For your TikTok account.
Did I send one? Yeah, so what's
Yeah.
what's my TikTok handle? Is it 97 spiders? What is it? Hold on a second. I don't even know. That's how I know I'm an old man. I don't even know my account. Hold on a second. Oh, yes, it's Raynor Roberts, and then it says at 97 spiders. 97 spiders. So 97 spiders is my I guess that's my TikTok handle. Is 97 spiders is my TikTok. I'll put that in the chat right now. 97 spiders is my TikTok. So I try to put a lot of motivational stuff. I don't put a lot of English stuff up there, but I try to put some motivational things up there. All right. I want you guys to know that whatever you do, just continue to try. Keep on moving forward. Some things in university is going to come easy to you, and some things are going to come extremely hard. But if you practice, if you put time, if you dedicate and invest time, okay, that's your biggest in life. The best asset and the most important asset that you have is time. Trust me. It's an asset that eventually, it's the asset, it's the one thing about us humans, regardless if you're Saudi, if you're Jamaican, if you're Mexican, if you're Turkish, if you're Chinese, if you're British, if you're South African, if you're Ethiopian, regardless of what your nationality is, regardless of what your religion is, the one thing that every human being on this earth faces and deals with every moment that they exist is time. And we are all running out of time. Whether you're a rich man or a poor man, we will all run out of time on this earth, and then inshallah, everyone will go to heaven and enjoy heaven. Okay, but on this earth, as human beings, the one thing that we all have in common is that we're running out of time. So time is your biggest and your best asset. If you utilize your time wisely, you will reap great rewards. If you utilize your time poorly, then you're not going to be very satisfied in your life. Time is your biggest asset. Do not waste your time. Also, you guys are very young. So, you know, it's important that you don't let your youth get in the way of making right decisions, okay? Or making proper decisions. Make good decisions now. Don't say, oh, I'll wait till I'll get 30 years old. I'll wait till I get 40 years old, or I'm young, I can have fun. Yeah, you should have fun, but guess what? You should have fun at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. You should have fun every day of your life. Some days you won't, but you should. So fun is not something relegated to being young. So make sure that you are investing your time wisely now. So when you get my age, you don't have to work hard or as hard. You don't have to work as hard when you get my age. Okay. Enjoy life. Enjoy every moment. Do the things that you enjoy. All right. Do the good things that you are good at. Find the one thing that you're good at, or the two things that you're good at, and follow those things. Follow the things that God has blessed you with, those talents that God has blessed you with. Do those. Those things will be the things that will allow you to make money, and then you can follow your passions. All right. Now, your passions, sometimes your passion is not what you're good at. All right. So my advice is, do not follow your passion. Follow the things that you're good at. Make money with those things. And when you make enough money, then you can follow your passion. Okay. God has blessed all of us with a talent or several talents. Monetize those things, make money, make a living, build a family with those things, with those talents, with those skills. Okay. And then when you have enough money, because you're very good at what you do to make money, then you could chase your passions and those things that you're interested in. All right. Because a lot of times people will tell you to follow your passion. This is very bad advice. Most people, unless your passion is also what you're good at, unless your passion is also what you're good at, then don't follow your passions. Now, if you're passionate about what you're good at, oh, this is a win-win situation. But for most of us, it doesn't work that way. For most of us, it doesn't work that way. We're normally passionate about things that we're really not good at, and we have to work on. But follow the skills and the gifts that God has made you good at. And you might not be passionate about those things. Because why? Because you're good at it, though. Like I had a friend who was an excellent in school, in high school. He was an artist. I mean, he could draw. Amazing artist. Okay. But he wasn't passionate about drawing. All right. And he was passionate about other things, and he followed those other things. And I wonder what his life would be if he would have followed that skill that he had concerning drawing. And then after he lived comfortably and created a comfortable financial nest egg, then he went to follow those passions. Okay. So that's just my advice to you. Figure out what you're good at. All right. Then the things that you're compassionate about, let that be the things that you do when you are financially secure. Because I don't care what anyone tells you, in this world, you need money. All right. You need enough money to live. I'm not saying and suggesting that anyone should go out and want to be Elon Musk or Bill Gates or billionaire or even a millionaire. But you do not want to suffer because you don't have money. Okay. If you want to live a modest life, great. Great. Live a modest life. There's something special about living a modest life. However, don't financially suffer. This is not good either. So God has blessed us all with skills. Figure out what that skill is. Figure out what you're good at. Some of you are going to get extremely lucky, and what you're good at is also what you're compassionate about. And I got a feeling you're going to be extremely successful. Okay. But some of us, we need to follow the things that we're good at. Now, I remember, I'm going to get to your question in a second, Lubna, and then we'll do the reading comprehension. I remember I said, I'm not going to be a teacher. Oh, teacher, because when I went to university, I went to a military school, and I could have cared less about learning. I was good in high school. I was fairly decent. I wasn't a bad student in high school. I was on an honor roll and did all the nerdy stuff in the high school. But what I really wanted to be was a soldier. Right? That was my passion. So I went to a military school, and I went to a great military school. And when I got there, my mindset was just being a soldier. And when I got out of the military, guess what? My passion was to be a soldier. And then when I got out of the military, I was lost. And fortunate for me, and this is how I know God is great. When I was in college, my first year, I started off as a history major. Because I didn't care. I say, I like history, whatever. Maybe I'll learn about great soldiers, right? And that was my plan. I'll learn about great soldiers. So when I'm a general one day, right? My passion, when I'm a general, then I can, help me with strategy and all this good stuff. And, but there was a problem. I hated math. I'm really not a fan of math now either. But back then I was terrified of math. And as a history major at my school, you had to take these math courses, and you had to take these business courses that was tied to math. And all the other humanities students, history students, first year, we were hearing all these horror stories about the second year history program, and how these history students and humanities students rather were flunking out of math, failing math, and these business courses. Particularly these business courses, not math per se, but these business courses, which in my mind was tied to math. So I went to my academic advisor and I said, you know what? Get me out of here. I'm not stupid. I'm one of these type people. I don't have to learn from experience. I learn from other people's experiences. I see other people. I said, oh, I'm going that way. So I don't have to stick my hand in the fire. I see that you got burned. I'm going to go the other way. And so my academic advisor said, well, what do you, if you're not going to do history, what are you going to do? So I said, let's go in the book and see what major can I be without having to take this business course, these series of business courses. I don't know if it's courses or one course, whatever it was, I was terrified. So my academic advisor said, all right, you can be either Spanish major or English major. So I said, hey, kind of know English already, my native tongue. I'm not here really to learn. I'm here to be a soldier. So I'll just take the path of less resistance. It turns out that English was hard. Oh, I had to write a paper almost every week. Being an English major was not easy, but I learned a lot. But my point is, later on in life, as you can see, I became an English professor, or lecturer, rather, an English lecturer. And and it turns out that teaching, the one thing, because when I became an English when I became an English major, everybody was like, oh, so what are you gonna do, teach? What are you gonna do, teach? You know, the kind, because I went to an all-male school. It was only boys that went to my school. So what are you gonna do, teach? You're gonna be a teacher? You're gonna be a teacher? Oh, like, like it was kind of be like it's weak to be a teacher or something. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna be a teacher. I'm gonna be a soldier. It doesn't matter anyway. As long as I get my degree, I'm just going to be a soldier, right? And the funny thing about it is when I got out of the military, guess what my job was? I became a teacher. And when I started teaching, I loved it. And I figured out that I was good at it. That's the key. And I tried to deny it for years, but I was good at it. Everybody was telling me, Mr. Ray, you're good at teaching. I was like, no, because I only wanted to become a teacher. Teaching was the transition, right? So I was in the military. I spent 7 years in the Army, United States Army. And then I said, okay, now that my military career is over, I'm going to go and become a police officer. So I wanted to be a U.S. Marshal. So I figured, well, that's the next best thing. That'd be cool to go around America, go around the country, maybe even go around the world chasing fugitives. And that's what U.S. Marshals do. So I said, that would be cool. I'll be a U.S. Marshal. So, I put my paperwork in to be a U.S. Marshal. And I read that, okay, you should probably join a local police department, have some law enforcement experience before you become a U.S. Marshal. That was like a good pathway. So I said, okay, here's what I do. I need some money right now. The school district where I was living, they needed teachers. So I said, okay, I'll go and teach. I'll put my applications in to be a police officer, and I'll put my application in simultaneously. I'll put my application in to be a U.S. Marshal. Okay. And then, after a couple months, I probably, because back then I was physically fit. I mean, I was physically fit. And so I figured, man, I could become a cop easily. I got a degree. I got military experience. They probably one department said, man, we're gonna, you do 1 year. We're gonna make you a SWAT. Put you on a SWAT team. You just got to do 1 year on the street, because I was so gun ho. I was so physically fit. I was young. I was an officer in the military, so I was very appealing to the police department. So I said, all right, I'm only gonna do this teaching thing for a couple months, maybe a semester. And then one of the agencies will call me in. I'll be a police officer. And then after a couple years, my U.S. Marshal application would probably come through. And then at that point, I'll be highly qualified because I was degreed in the military and then had law enforcement. That was my grand plan. And I got into the classroom and I figured out I was pretty good at it. And then my superiors, my principal, my department chair, Mr. Ray, you're really good at this. Because I was telling them, oh, I'm just going to be here a short time. Don't. And I remember my department chair saying, Mr. Ray, just go and get your master's degree. Because where my city, you can get a master's degree for virtually, not free, but the cost was so low. If you were a teacher, you might as well just go ahead and do it. And so I got my master's degree in teaching and still thinking, maybe this will kind of be a backup. I know I'm kind of good at it, but I want to be in law enforcement. And the first year went by, I didn't get a call, right? Yeah, I think it was first year. I didn't get any call from anyone. I was interviewing. I did get a call. I'm sorry. I was interviewing. I did all the background stuff. I'm just waiting. So around, I think it was October of my second year. This is before cell phones. This is how old I am. So people really didn't have cell phones at this point. The everyday cell phones were around, but the everyday person didn't have a cell phone. Like rich people had cell phones. So the everyday person, pedestrian, remember that story we read? The everyday pedestrian didn't have a cell phone. So, and we weren't using really email, because I remember my principal complaining that none of the teachers were using the email, because all the teachers, they email. What is email? It's email. You want to talk to me? Come and call. ask me to come to your office. Or let's have a meeting. That's how old I'm dating myself. So I remember one day, I think it was in October, these two police officers from a different county comes into my classroom, and they said, Ray Roberts, or Raynor Roberts, or however they addressed me. I said, yes. They said, oh, we came directly. We came directly to offer you the position. We have the academy starts next week. So we come because we want to know if you're ready to go to the academy next week. We know that you're teaching. So, and I looked them in the face. And mind you, this is all I wanted to do at this point. I looked them in the face and I said, no, guys, I think I'm gonna stay with this teaching thing. Then after that, I took teaching extremely seriously. I had took it seriously beforehand, but I realized that that's what I was good at. Maybe I would have been good at being in law enforcement. I'm not sure, but I knew based on what I was doing in the classroom that teaching was really my thing. And so I stayed a teacher, and shortly after I became assistant principal and got into leadership. And that's where I felt comfortable. And that was almost 22 years ago to the day, because I started teaching 22 years ago, probably around this time in August is when I started doing my teacher training. About this time, 22 years ago. Most of you weren't even born yet, right? Most of you weren't even born. So I said all that, I told that story as an anecdote to say, follow what you're good at, all right? And then allow what you're good at to finance and pay for your what you're passionate about. Lubna, you have a question?
Yes. And first, thank you for saying your story. It's really exciting. I am very exciting. And thank you for your advice. And my question is, teacher, sorry, but I don't sure I am really understand the meaning of the word passion. Is passion synonym for hobby?
No, hobby, you could be compassionate about a hobby, but most of the time a hobby is not, people could be passionate about their hobbies, yes. But normally hobbies are normally a little bit less casual, more casual.
Okay, teacher,
Yeah,
can you give me the spelling?
Yeah, I'll give you, a passionate is something that, a passion is something that really drives you. Something that you are totally committed to, that that you enjoy, that you feel comfortable in, right? That it makes you alive, right? It makes you alive. You want to do this thing. You want to know this thing. You want to master it. And sometimes it's a hobby. Like, for instance, I know people who are compassionate about fixing cars, working on cars, right? But here's the thing, that might not be the talent that they have. That might not be their God-given talent, but they're compassionate. Every time they see a car, their blood just rushes, and they just in love with it. Your passions, right? And you know your passion when you run across it. You know it, right? Because your whole being is just, you just in love, right? However, the problem with passions are, again, as I said earlier, you might not be good at that thing, right? So I meet over my years as a professional, I have met a lot of people who tried to chase their passions and they got disappointed. Why? Because they weren't good at it, right? That, like, for instance, you ever seen American Idol, and those those people who are there and they normally start at the beginning of the season and they really can't sing, right? But they're there trying to sing, trying to get a deal, but they really are not really good singers. And then the judges got to be like, you're not really good. And some of those people, their hearts are broken because they might be really compassionate about singing. They might be really passionate about singing, but they're really not good at it. Or they may not be
Yeah.
bad at it. They might not be bad at it, but they're not at the professional level. And then you have some people who God just gave them the ability to sing. They just have a beautiful voice. And guess what? They're not passionate about singing. They're not passionate about it. They're just able to do it and do it well and do it to make enough money to make their life comfortable. And then they follow their passions, right? Once they're making millions of dollars or whatever they need to survive, then they go out and they might be really passionate about children and saving children or ending homelessness or whatever, flying airplanes. And they go out and do that. And they allow their skill of singing to finance their passions.
Teacher,
Does that
okay. Something I very excited when I do or when I watch, but I am not good in that things.
like what?
Is that meaning?
Well, do you want to do it when you see it? Have you done it before? Because just because you like something or just because something is exciting doesn't mean that you're compassionate or passionate about it. That don't mean you have passion for it.
Okay.
When you things are like I know people who have, like I said, who are passionate about fixing cars or animals or trying to solve homelessness or teaching or healthcare or helping people or reading. There are people who are compassionate about reading. There are people who are passionate about learning languages, right? Whether they're good at it or not, or naturally gifted at it or not. So your compassion, what you're compassionate about or passionate about when you experience it.
Teacher, please, can you give me the spelling about this word?
All right, passion.
Sorry, Dr. Ray, I want to tell her.
Yeah,
What
go ahead.
is passion.
Yeah, go ahead.
لبنى أو
Yes.
اللي هو الشغف.
يعني the exact meaning شغف يعني.
إيه شغف، أكيد تعرفي سمعت عنه كتير.
Okay, thank you.
You got it now? Yeah, maybe
Yes,
you need it.
teacher.
Yeah, I think saying it in your native language is probably better because it's hard. Passion is hard.
Yeah,
to really,
I know the general meaning, but I want the exact meaning.
Yeah, it's probably better to say it in your native tongue. Like, if you're a good Muslim, right? You're passionate about Allah and following the deen, right?
Yes.
Right. And you're compassionate about those things. Now, some people are able to make money off of that because they're good at teaching Islam, right? And then there's some people who are compassionate about Islam and being a Muslim, but they won't make any money off of it. But it's their passion. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's the
Jada.
first time. Sorry, it's the first time when I to hear this thing. Search about money, then, and the second tab, search about passion. All the
Yes,
people said no, search about passion, because if you get it, you can be very comfortable. You
And that's-
can
and
be.
it's
You can
bad
find money.
It's bad advice. It is bad advice. And I know what you're saying because I hear it
Yes.
all the time too. And it drives me nuts because it's terrible advice, right? If you talk to people who are really successful, they will tell you basically what I'm telling you, right? And because I've seen too many people, and I've heard too many successful people say, do not follow your passions. Your passions can get you in big trouble. Can get
Yes.
you in big trouble.
Especially if
right?
you are not good.
Because especially if you're not good. Now, again, there's
Or
some
it's
people,
very hard.
there's some people who are good at, who are excellent at what they're compassionate about, and that's perfect.
Yeah,
But
it's
most
lucky.
That's lucky. But most of us, that's not the case,
Nice.
right? Most of us, we're good at something. God has given us a gift that we're not passionate about. Like my friend with drawing as an artist, right?
Yes.
So, and the problem with passion is that you're so in love with it that you will make bad decisions, right?
Yes.
In life, the success in life is about making good decisions most of the time. Sometimes we all make bad decisions. There's no one that's perfect. Many of us, we all make bad decisions from time to time, but we learn from our decisions. We learn from our bad mistakes, right? We learn from when we do things wrong. We learn from failure. The best lesson in life is failure. That's the best lesson, is failing. All right. Why? Because you should learn from failing so you don't fail that often. Because failing also means that you're trying and that you're putting effort in. People who don't fail are not trying. Michael Jordan, who is one of the best, who probably is the best basketball player, in my opinion, ever, he's missed more shots than he made, right? So the more you try, the better you will become. Also remember, Michael Jordan, he wasn't super, he was good at basketball and he still had to work hard. There's another thing that I hear, another misnomer that I hear people say is work smart and not hard. That's another bad piece of advice. Everything that you do in life, that means something to you, you're going to work hard at it. You're going to work extremely hard at it. Okay. The key is to work hard and smart. Right? To work hard and smart. Anything in life that comes easy, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. There's going to be an issue with it. There's going to be some issue down the road with it. Those things that you have to work at, that is a little bit difficult, that you have to learn over time, but you're good at it, but you still got to learn over time to get better and better and better. And there's some struggle, there are obstacles. These are the things that are going to give you the better reward. Because what happens is when you work hard and you work smart, you become savvy. S-A-V-V-Y. And savviness is knowing what to do and when to do it. Savviness is knowing what to do and when to do it. So if you take on this mentality, I'm going to work smart and not hard. What that tells me, what you're really saying is that you're going to cut corners, that the quality is not going to be as good, and that really you don't have the experience to do things at a high quality level because you're so worried about doing it quickly and getting short-term, fast gains. It's just like the person who goes to the plastic surgeon and get liposuction instead of going out and running and sweating and doing cardio and doing yoga and doing all those things to naturally burn, right? So when you naturally burn your weight off, then it's more healthier for you and you have longer term gains because you become savvy. You know how to eat properly. You know how to exercise to keep the weight off because you went through that journey that may have taken 6 months or a year or 2 years. You know what foods to eat and what foods not to eat. You know what time of day to exercise. You know what exercises give you the better gains. You become savvy because you know what to do and when to do it. However, that person who goes to the plastic surgeon, gets liposuction, get a tummy tuck, get this, get that, fix the nose this way, do this and do that. Yes, they get short-term gains, but what ends up happening a year later is the weight comes back on. Or what ends up happening is they're not satisfied. So they need to get this done and that done and this done and that done. And then over time, they look like a robot. They look like a mannequin in a store. They don't even look nice any longer because they're getting all this plastic surgery to correct their looks. Why? Because they tried to take the easy way out. So when you hear people say, work smart, not hard, that's a bunch of baloney. You need to work hard. You need to work smart and hard. A combination of both. So you become savvy. So you know what to do and when to do it. And that is what will make you successful. And that was what was going to help people, help people. Because ultimately, the greatest success, the greatest success is when you help people on what you're good at. That's when you get the greatest amount of success, is when you're able to transfer your knowledge to other people so they can become successful, and you become a tree of success because other people are relying on you and learn from you, and you're nurturing the world. And that's the greatest level of success. All right. All right. So that's my little thing about being successful. You know, I hope you guys take that to heart. Think about that. You don't have to believe it, but think about it. Okay. All right. This is what I want to do now. I'm going to break you guys up into rooms. Yesterday, I asked you to do the group assignment for by yourself, the reading comprehension assignment. So I want to break you. So now I want you to break into rooms. I want you to go over the answers with each other. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna break you guys
Teacher.
into room. Yeah.
Sorry, but when we do attendance for 1 hour first.
Yeah, don't worry about this. This is the last day. I'm not worried about that right now. You can do it. You can do it while you're in the breakout room. All right. So I'm gonna give you guys 15 minutes to go over your answers, and then we're gonna read the text together as a whole group and go over the answers, and that'll be our last academic activity. After that, then remember, I also asked you to come up with 5 questions. We're gonna ask those 5 questions after we do the reading comprehension. So I'm gonna break you out into rooms now. Oh, it already did it. Interesting. Okay. So the reading comprehension again is in the reading comprehension section of the Google Classroom. Just in case you forgot. So that's the questions that we're going over. All right. Any questions? All right, we'll come back in 15 minutes. If anyone wants to follow any of my lessons, you can follow it at Raynor Roberts at YouTube. Sure.
This is a question I don't understand. Where is it? Who is the article mainly organized?
Yeah, we're gonna go over all the questions now. All right, so let me read this for you. This article is called Eureka by Ken Chowder.
Teacher,
Eureka
what's
means
mean this? Eureka.
Eureka. Well, it tells you right in the first line in italics. It says, Eureka means I have found it. Read this article about the role that chance has played in important discoveries, then answer the questions that follow. So Eureka means I have found it. So normally, it's an expression when you've solved the problem or you found it or you made a discovery. You say Eureka, right? I found it. I've solved the problem. You wouldn't think something as unscientific as accident could have played much of a role in the life of Tim Berners-Lee, the brilliant British physicist and computer scientist who in 1991 invented the World Wide Web. He conceived it and still controls a lot of how it operates from his unimposing office at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In 1999, Time placed Berners-Lee on the list of the 100 persons of the century. No fewer than 7 different universities have awarded him honorary degrees. But the great breakthrough engineered by this icon of cyberspace did occur in part by chance. There was an element of serendipity, says author Malala, director of Levinson Center of the Study of Invention and Innovation at the Smithsonian's National Museum of American History. At first, he was just noodling around, trying to find a way to organize his research files. So he began to develop a tool just for his own personal use. The tool was a software program that, as Berners-Lee puts it, was really useful for keeping track of all the random associations one comes across in real life, and which brains are supposed to be so good at remembering, but sometimes mind wouldn't. He called it inquiry, and it worked so well, creating effective linkages between the huge amounts of information that it eventually became the basis for the revolution we now casually refer to as the web. It would be akin to a carpenter building a little cabinet for himself, Malala says, and suddenly discovering he could store the entire world inside the thing. There was quite a bit of luck in it. The element of chance has helped produce many of the most important innovations in modern life. Many are created by it. Others become successful because of it. And some fail for the same reason. As Mark Twain, an inventor himself, once scribbled in his notebook, name the greatest of all the inventors, accident. If you don't believe it, go into your kitchen and look around. There might be a Teflon pan on the stove, a microwave oven above it, Post-it sticking out of cookbooks, matches in a drawer, Coke, popsicles, and ketchup stashed in the refrigerator. Accident played a role in their invention. Happenstance works in many ways. One is the observed event. The invention is the way the mind seizes upon an inconspicuous occurrence. The best known of these is Alexander Fleming's role in the discovery of penicillin. One day in 1928, some mold drifted through an open window in a London hospital and landed in Fleming's petri dish, where he placed a culture of Staphylococcus bacteria. I might have mispronounced that. What Fleming did next got him and two colleagues a Nobel Peace Prize in 1945. He looked through the microscope. What he saw was the mold effectively destroying the germs. Presto, the creation of penicillin began with that unlikely turn of events. But Robert Friedel, historian of technology at the University of Maryland, cautions that serendipity is no accident. What's important about an unintended event, Friedel asserts, is the creative way it is used. As Louis Pasteur once said, chance favors only the prepared mind. Any of us might happen to see a cat pull feathers through a bird cage, but when Eli Whitney saw that, he got the idea of how to comb cotton mechanically. Hence the cotton gin. Some people are just more likely to pay attention when they see something, says Raynor of the National Inventors Hall of Fame in Akron, Ohio. If you have a certain type of brain, you might see something weird and say, hey, what can I do with this? Take Percy Lebrun Spencer, a hero of World War II, for his work in developing radar. Spencer obtained more than 120 patents in his lifetime. One day, shortly after the war, he was walking through his lab at the Raytheon Company in Cambridge, Massachusetts, when he stopped briefly by a Megatron, the tube that produces the high-frequency microwaves that power radar. He was working on things like missile defense systems, Prophet says, but just that second, he got a strange feeling. He realized that a candy bar in his jacket pocket had melted. Odd, Spencer thought. Immediately, he performed a makeshift experiment. He put some popcorn kernels in front of the Megatron. Soon, popcorn was popping all over the place. There's actually a drawing of a bag of popcorn in one of Spencer's patents, Privet says. Other people might just make a note or two in a lab notebook and let it go. But right away, Percy Spencer was thinking about what this could be used for, a microwave oven. It's not just scientists hanging around high-tech labs whom accident favors. Hans Lippershey, a 17th century Dutch eyeglass maker, simply happened, so the story goes, to look through two lenses one day and notice that objects at a distance were greatly modified. When he put the lenses in a tube, he created the world's first telescope. John Walker was a pharmacist, not a scientist. One day in 1826, he was mixing potassium chlorate and antimony sulfide together with a stick, but the mixture stuck to the stick. When he tried to scrape the stuff off against the stone floor, it burst into flames. Walker quickly produced for sale the first friction matches, or to use his catchy name, sulfurite peroxide strikables. Inspiration can take a lot longer to strike than a match. Frank Epperson was an 11-year-old boy at the dawn of the 20th century when he accidentally left a mixture of soda powder and water out on the back porch one cold night. In it was the stick. He used a mixture. In it was the stick he used as a mixture. Next morning, Epperson found the soda water frozen around the stick. Nearly 20 years passed before he realized that by adding some flavoring, he could concoct a frosty treat. And with that, he began to manufacture what he called applecicles. Eventually, the name changed and he earned royalties on more than 60 million popsicles. That success inspired the creation of the fudge sickle and the creamsicle and the dreamsicle. Sometimes Lady Luck delivers the invention, but not the fortune that should go with it. One day in 1839, a failed hardware salesman was tinkering at his boarding house in Woodburn, Massachusetts. He'd been hauled off to debtor's prison so often that he called it his hotel. Even trying to make a useful material out of a substance from Brazil called rubber. People brought it for erasing, rubbing out mistakes. Because it became brittle in the cold and melted in high heat. That was about all it was good for. The amateur inventor was tried mixing it with numerous chemicals, all without success. Until that day, Woodburn, when he blended rubber with sulfur and happened to drop the mixture onto a hot stove, after he cleaned it up, he realized that the rubber had suddenly become more solid, yet it was still flexible. Charles Goodyear had vulcanized rubber, a process that gives it useful properties such as strength, elasticity, and stability. Today, it is used in everything from automobile tires to golf balls. But that practical discovery did little to help Goodyear himself. His many patents were regularly violated. When he died in 1860, he was more than $200,000 in debt. In one common scenario, inventors are hard at work trying to make one thing when accident intervenes to create something else. The first practical synthetic dye was invented when an 18-year-old student in London was trying to synthesize an anti-malarial drug. The material that led to throwaway tissues was first intended as a filter for gas masks. In the late 1960s, the Rian Company researcher Spence Silver was trying to create a super glue, but ended up with the opposite, a glue that wouldn't dry, wouldn't melt, and hardly stuck to anything. It could just barely hold two pieces of paper together. What the devil could he use the stuff for? Silver never did come up with a good answer, but 5 years later, a fellow employee, Art Fry, began using the glue on small scraps of paper, making bookmarks for this church hymnal. He took another 8 years before posted sticky note paper became an overnight sensation. Man, my tongue got tired a lot doing that. All right. So we can raise our hands. Question 1, according to paragraphs 1 through 3, what was Berners-Lee doing? What was Berners-Lee doing when he conceived of the World Wide Web? Rector?
C.
C, attempting to get organized. Very good. Next question. According to paragraph 4, what is the most likely reason the author says to go into your kitchen and look around? All right, Lubna?
Teacher, I think I confused between two answers, but I think it's A. Or if A not correct, or it's D.
So which one do you think it is?
A.
A, and A would be the right answer. Yeah, so he's telling you to go into your kitchen to prove what he's saying is true. So he's showing you that the items in the kitchens are all made from happenstance, like the microwave and the, what was it, the Post-it notes. He's all showing you that inventions in your kitchen today were all made from happenstance. All right, number 3, or accident. Happenstance and accident are closely related. They're synonymous. According to the article, which of the following was most important to the invention of the cotton gin? Jude Ali.
C, an animal. D.
Yep, he saw the bird or the cat pluck the bird feather. Next one, which of the following would be the best heading for paragraph 7? Let's go back to paragraph 7. This is paragraph 7. Any of us might happen to see a cat pull feathers through a bird cage, but when Eli Whitney saw it, he got the idea to comb cotton mechanically, hence the cotton gin. Some people are just more likely to pay attention when they see something, says Raynor Pravi of the National Inventors Hall of Fame in Akron, Ohio. If you have a certain type of brain, you might see something weird and say, hey, what can I do with this? All right, so paragraph 7, what's the best title? Omar.
B, how the mind creates thought.
Yes, B is the best answer. How the mind creates through observation, because that whole paragraph is talking about how you look at things and then you can become creative through observation. Very good. Next paragraph. According to the article, how was Charles Goodyear most different from other inventors in the article? Lubna?
I think it's D.
He did not achieve financial success. Yes, unfortunately, he didn't receive financial success. He died broke when he had an amazing discovery. Next question: which of the following sentences best supports the main idea of the article? Anyone else except Lubna and Omar? Which of the following sentences best supports the main idea of the article? All right, let's go with Omar.
C.
See, the creation of penicillin began with the unlikely turn of events.
Yeah.
Which of the following sentences best supports the main idea of the article? The creation of penicillin began. Yes, C would be, because C expresses this idea that that he created something and then all these other things happen, and that's what the whole article is about. That's the main idea. Very good. How is the article mainly organized? Jada.
D, through a series of examples.
Outstanding. Good answer. Outstanding. Through a series of examples, and that's what it does. Throughout the whole article, it gives a series of examples. Outstanding. And then the last question, what is the definition of scenario as it is used in paragraph 13? Let's go to paragraph 13. In one common scenario, inventors are hard at work trying to make one thing when accident intervenes to create something else. All right, who wants to take the last question? Jada?
I think it's C, situation.
Absolutely, it's definitely situation. Scenario and situation are synonymous. Outstanding, you guys did a wonderful job on that activity. Again, unfortunately, that's our last activity. Well, actually, we do got one more. We have one more activity. And that's the last homework assignment I gave you guys, which everyone should ask me some questions that they have, either about English or university. We'll start with Jude Bagash. You have a question for me?
No, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm ready for your question.
Okay, I see. No, thank you. I don't have any question.
You didn't come up with any questions yesterday?
No?
Nothing, not one?
I have one.
Hold on a second, I'll get to you. Not one, Jude?
I don't know. What's see you?
Okay, no problem. Shahad, you have a question for me?
Yes.
Okay.
First, I want advice about reading at KSAU. Okay. I am gonna in KSAU, the University of Health Science, and I want advice about reading.
Are you coming to my university or are you going to King Saud?
La,
You going to
university.
KSU
No.
or KS? Are you,
No,
are
no,
you coming to?
For health science.
Yeah, so you coming to my university.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, a reading question. So what's your reading question?
Reading critical thinking, because
about it?
I heard it's hard, vocabulary easy, but critical thinking it's not easy, not hard.
Well,
So I
again,
want
critical thinking is something that you really need to develop yourself. It's hard for, especially in a university setting, it's hard to really teach someone how to critically think. Critical thinking is really your ability to observe, kind of what the article talked about that we just read, right? About observing things and being able to do something with your observation, reading things and being able to do something with what you read, experiencing things and being able to do something with what you experience. And that's really what critical thinking is about. It's about reading and experiencing and being able to challenge what you read and what you experience to create something or to do something or to hypothesize something or come up with draw a conclusion or to react a certain way in a way that's based on the information that you have, in a way that is more efficient and more effective. So it's hard for a teacher to really teach you that. You have to, that's a skill that you have to work on yourself, okay? And so my advice to you would be to read, and everyone would to be read and ask yourself hard questions about what you have read. Experience as many things that you can experience and ask yourself hard questions. When, what, where, and why. When, what, where, why, and where. What's the W's? When, what, where, why. What's the other one I'm missing? And how? Is that all of them? And how, right? Ask yourself the W questions. Ask yourself the when, what, where, why is a good one. And then how is a very good one, okay? And these will help you begin to ask yourself critical questions, to respond to things critically. Your entire experiences, all your experiences, all right? So begin to ask yourself when, what, where, why, how, all right? And then push yourself. What if questions, conditional questions. What if this would have happened? What would be the best response? What if that would have happened? So on and so forth, okay? So critical thinking is something that you really need to develop in yourself, mainly looking at the entire situation, thinking about what is the best response, what is the best approach, what is more efficient, what is more effective. The best way to do that is to read, listen to podcasts, watch the news, listen to experts, see how they critically think, see how they come up to solutions to problems. Okay. Reading will help your critical thinking a lot. And you have to form your own critical thinking. Okay. I know that's not a direct answer, but it's the best answer I can give you. Okay. It really relies on you because you can perceive things differently than other people. Okay. But you got to have evidence to show that your perception has value to other people, and that is effective by being effective and efficient, and something can be created, hopefully positive from it. Okay, Shahad?
Yes, thank you so much.
From Jada, give me your question. Give me one question that you have.
It's about the new university, KSAU. I am under processing. I want to know if I am in the first of the list or end of the list. I want to know when how many are there in the list because
have you
they
been-
are some mystery.
Have you been accepted yet? You haven't gotten any word yet?
Under processing.
In the process. All right, so here's what we'll do. For you, I want you to call Miss Nedula. You have her number, right?
No,
That's the lady that, you never talked to Miss Nedula?
no, I didn't.
Okay, Ms. Lynch, I added her to the WhatsApp group. So look
Okay.
in the WhatsApp group, look for the.
She's an
the-
admin.
Hmm?
She's an admin in the group.
Yeah, she's not an admin. Maybe I should make her an admin, but her name is Miss Nedula.
Okay.
Nedula. She works in student affairs. In fact, she's the assistant to the dean of student affairs. After the meeting today, call her or WhatsApp her and explain your situation. If she doesn't give you a good answer, message me back, okay?
Okay.
I will find the answer out for you tonight, tomorrow. But message her first. She'll be the best person right now. And then if she can't help you, then message me back on WhatsApp, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Regda,
Yes, is the English in KSAU begin in advanced level or gradually?
it's gradual, but advanced. For some people, it's advanced because they have little English. But Regda, I think you're gonna be fine based on my time with you and the way you work. I think you'll be okay. Just keep on working hard. You'll be fine. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Just keep on doing what you did here, and you'll be fine. Mazan, you have a question?
No, thank you.
You sure?
Yes.
All right. Everybody who's going to KSAU, you can come by my office anytime, especially during my office hours. My office is office 24. My office is office 24 in the Co-Ship building, College of Science and Health Professions, second floor, office 24. You know it's my office because I have a lot of Star Wars toys in my office hanging on the wall. And you can always, you can message me and we can, if you have any questions or you need to talk to me about anything, you come to talk to me in my office. Lubna, you have any questions?
Yes, teacher. Can you explain the question 7?
Question
For
7?
reading. Yes, comprehension.
All right, let's look at 7. So 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. This one right here, which is the following best
No,
supports
no,
the
no.
main- Which one?
This is a question. How is the article?
Okay, yeah. So how is the article mainly organized? What is asking you is what is really asking you is how is the author proving their point? When the author writes, or when you write, or anyone writes, right? They're writing to prove a point. So the question is really asking you, how is the author proving their point? What method are they using to prove their thesis or the point of their article? Okay. And so we know the point. So we ask ourselves, the point is to show readers that inventions are made through accident, right? A lot of inventions are made through accident, but also through good observation of those accidents. So how does the author go about proving that? Does he use chronological order? No, he doesn't start from, the 1700s and, he goes back and forth in time, right? So it's not chronological order. Order of importance, well, he doesn't say that this invention is more important than the next invention. He doesn't say that, and he doesn't suggest that. So it's not B. C, he's not comparing or contrasting. He's not showing the similarities or differences. And that's what compare and contrast means, to show the similarities and differences between any of the examples he's given. So that's not, or the situations he's given. So it's not C. However, it is D because he's given us a whole series of examples that show inventions that were created by accident, but through good observation, right? He gives a
So
whole
teacher,
list of
about all the paragraph.
the entire paragraph. He does that.
Okay, teacher, and the next question in the under, why we choose number C? Maybe we can choose number A.
No, because if you go back to paragraph 13, right? It says in one common scenario, all right? Scenario basically means situation.
Situation.
Scenario normally means situation. The situation wasn't, so when he's saying common situation, he's not suggesting that the situation is good or bad. He's just suggesting that it's a situation. And that's what a scenario is. A scenario is a situation. Sometimes you can use the word example. So the best answer out of this list is not disaster, because he's not suggesting that the situation is bad. He's sacrificed, nothing's really being sacrificed as far as that phrase is concerned. And we're only going by that phrase. All right.
Teacher,
And one,
if this paragraph 13, don't begin with this line, common scenario. It's begin like without this line. Can we choose number A? The answer number A.
well, let's see, without this line, you don't have the question,
Yes.
right? So the whole point here is this is an introductory phrase. So in one common scenario, so basically what the author is trying to do is just give you he's modifying the
Without
main
this
clause,
introducing.
right? So, but if without so the idea of scenario, you're talking about this
Yes.
particular scenario. So let's read it without that phrase. Inventors are hard at work trying to make one thing when accident intervenes to create something else. No, it's not A still, because accident doesn't mean disaster here. So when they use accident in the context of this article, it doesn't mean like accident, like a bad thing, like a disaster. A disaster is a bad thing. What they mean by is something, and it says right in the beginning here, I think it's in the first paragraph, happenstance. I think, where is it at? They use the word happenstance. I can't find it now. Where's it at? It's somewhere in here. I read it. but they use the word happenstance. So happenstance is a scenario is an example of accident. So accident, you can have, so accident means something that's bad, something that happens unintentionally and is bad, like a car accident, right?
Yes.
Or accident could mean something that happened that was not intended. But it could be a good thing, right? So all of these examples are something that happened that wasn't intended. It wasn't intentional. Someone did not mean for it to happen, but a good thing came out of it, right? So it wasn't a disaster because something good came out of it, because it's not a disaster. So we can't use the term disaster here, because every last one of these accidents resulted in something positive happening. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. That's why it cannot be A under any situation. All right. Thank you for that, because you probably cleared that up for someone. Caddy, you have a question for me?
Yes.
Mhm.
At the university, they always say, make the doctor know your name, and ask a lot of questions, even if the question was not important. Is that true?
Every question that you ask should be important. If you're asking questions just to ask questions, then that's not a good thing. Now, remember, yesterday I said ask questions, right, Trad? Always ask questions. What I mean is ask questions when you do not understand. If you don't understand, then that's an important question, okay? When you don't, if you truly don't understand, then ask the question. Don't sit there and not know. However, if you're asking questions just so the doctor or the professor or the teacher can know your name and you can look smart, don't do that, because everybody's going to end up not liking you, including the teacher. Okay, so only ask questions when you don't understand or you need more clarity or you're confused about something. Do not ask questions just so the teacher and your fellow students will think you're smart, because it's going to backfire. It's not going to work out well for you. Only ask questions when you truly want to understand something clearly and you want to you need clarity on something because you just don't understand it. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Omar, you have a question for me?
Not a question, but I want an advice from you for the university.
Yes.
That's it.
Go ahead, give me, or you want me to just give you a general advice?
Oh, yeah. I don't have a question.
Yeah, here's a good general advice, Omar, and for everyone. The first day that you sit in all your classes, you're going to get what they call a syllabus or a block book. Your teacher may give it to you printed, or they may send it to you in email. All right. If they don't get it to you the first day. Ask for the block book. Okay, maybe student affairs gives, I don't know. Sometimes the teacher will distribute it or should distribute it. I know I distribute it to all of my students. Okay, when you get that syllabus or block book, make sure that you create your own schedule. You take all the syllabus that you have. Let's say you have 8 classes in the first semester, or 3 classes, however many classes you have in the first semester. That night you get home, that day you get home, you take all those syllabuses and you create a schedule of when everything is due, and you do week 1. I don't know how many weeks. It used to be 16 weeks. Now with the tri-semester, I don't know. I think it's 12 weeks now. But however many weeks for the semester you do, let's say it's 16. You go 1 through 16, right? And then you put week 1, this is due for all of your classes. For English, this is due. For math, this is due. For for Islamic studies, this is due. Week 2, this is due. So, and then keep that. Take a picture of it, put it in your laptop, all right? And keep that So you always know what is due and the important information you need to know. Because from that, you will never not know when something is due unless the teacher changed the due date. And then if the teacher changes the due date, then you can make a correction. I would even print that list out, that little list out, or that table out, create a table. Now, if you're really smart, for each class, you do it. What I want you to do is create a table for English, for math, for biology, whatever classes you're taking, Islamic studies, Arabic. Do the same thing for each class and do week 1. Okay? Week 1. And then write the word topic. And then notes. So for English, if it's English class and you guys are learning narratives, write narratives, and then all the notes the teacher says in your own handwriting, write little shorthand notes. And keep these pieces of paper should be in a notebook. I like the 3-ring binder. We can take the papers out and in. If not, you can just use a regular spiral notebook like this. And I would have one for each class. You can get these from Jarir. I would have one for each class, one for English, one for math, one for Islamic studies. I would have a notebook like this. So when you have English that day, you take this notebook to class. You have week 1 on your, and then your syllabus, it will tell you what you're learning in week 1. So in week 1, whatever, you can pre-write what you're supposed to learn and then take the notes. Week 2, pre-write what you, look at the syllabus and whatever the teacher's teaching and take notes, so on and so forth. So when you go back to study for the midterm and you're going back to study for your final, you have perfect notes. One book for each. One for English, one for biology, one book for each, okay? But the first thing I want you to do is get all the syllabuses from the first week. And that first week, that first day, start week 1, week 2, all the way up to the last week, whether it's week 12 or 14, whatever it is. Put all your due dates, if it's a paper due, paragraph, when you have quizzes, when you have a midterm, put all these things so you can see what your schedule looks like. This will allow you to manage your time, help you with time management. It'll also help you to not procrastinate. And what I mean by procrastinating is waiting to the last minute to do your work. Ladies and gentlemen, do not wait to the last minute to do your work. Work in advance. Don't go too far in advance because you don't want to get too far before the teacher. But work, don't wait to the last minute. If there's a paragraph due in week 7, start working on the paragraph in week 5. Don't wait till 2 days before. Follow the teacher's instructions. Always keep that list or that table of everything that's due. Keep that somewhere. I would probably keep it digital on your phone or on your laptop so you can make changes to it if changes, because sometimes teachers make changes or the administration makes changes. All right. So you can be mindful. So nothing you can't say, I didn't know it was due. And you work in advance. Do not procrastinate. Procrastination, it will be your worst enemy. Okay. When you take notes, I highly suggest that you do not use your laptop, that you use an actual notebook like I showed you. Do not use memo pads. Don't use these because over time, the paper will fall out and you will lose the paper. So don't use these legal pads or memo pads. Don't. Use a spiral notebook like I showed you or a 3-ring binder. I don't have a 3-ring binder to show you right now. The one where you can take the papers in and out. But the spiral notebook that I showed you is best. And use a big one. Don't use a small one like this. Mafi quiz. Mafi quiz. Use a big one like this. Okay. That's my best advice I can give to you right now. I hope that helps you, Omar.
Thank you, Doctor.
Trad, you have a question for me?
Yes, there is a question.
Okay.
Doctor, where you are teaching in university in Riyadh or Jeddah?
In Riyadh.
Okay. Do you know some doctors in Jeddah or something?
I actually do not know any of the instructors in Jeddah. I really don't. I think we may have one person that was in Riyadh that was in Jeddah, but I'm not even sure they're there any longer. Are you going to KSAU?
Yes, inshallah.
I can still help you if you have any problems because it's the same program. It's the same program in Jeddah as it is in Riyadh. So if you have any problems, make sure you WhatsApp me, okay?
Okay, doctor.
All right, Jude Ali.
Yes, doctor, I have a question. The video recording yesterday isn't working. I don't know why. Maybe if you resend will be.
Yeah, I checked it. I forgot. I didn't respond to you. I'm sorry about that. But I checked. Excuse me. I checked and it's working. The link is working.
Because it says you are not able to watch it. I don't know why.
So let me see something here. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, you're right, Judah. You're right. Okay, you were right, Jude. I'm glad you said something. You were absolutely right. I had it in draft mode. You should be able to watch it now. You should be able to watch it now. I was able to watch it because I'm the creator of it, but I had it in draft mode. It should work now, Jude. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much for your efforts in this process.
All right. Well, thank you for your acknowledgement. Are there any final questions? Because I'm about to let you guys go, unfortunately. Are there any final questions?
Yes, don't forget to send me Miss Najla number.
Yeah, it's
I didn't see her name in the group.
WhatsApp, send me a WhatsApp and then I'll forward you her contact.
Okay, but I mean KSAU in Jeddah. It's okay?
Oh, and Jeddah. Oh.
Yeah.
Message, I'll send you hers because she can figure out because she's the assistant for all of the student affairs throughout the whole country. So
okay.
She still can help you. Okay.
Okay. I will send you
make sure you tell her it's Jeddah, not Riyadh.
Okay.
All right. I want to check one more thing before I let you guys go. Regda, you have a question?
Yes, is there any writing tips to give us?
All the writing tips you need as I gave you during the 4 weeks. They're the basic ones. If you follow what I told you over the next 4 weeks, that's going to be a good start. It's not everything, but it's a good start. Start the writing, the sentence structure that I gave you is a good start. It is a good start. You're going to be ahead of your peers. Okay.
Thank you.
Let me just do one more thing. I'm actually gonna call Najla now. And make sure she doesn't need. Hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Good. I am about to release these guys. We finished our last session. Do you need me to communicate anything? I know I asked you yesterday, but before I let them go, do you need me to tell them anything?
Yeah, we will send them a survey maybe today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Preparing the survey.
And
Let them check their email.
so,
every once in a
all
while.
right. All right.
Thank
No
you so
problem.
much.
All right.
You know.
Bye-bye. All right, so Ms. Nedler is going to send you guys a survey. Please check your email because they want you to complete a survey about the course. All right. So check your email. It should come today or tomorrow. Check your emails. Any other questions? Yeah, Omar.
I make for myself a little program in the home. It's about 20 minutes for reading and 30 minutes for listening and 5 for writing and 5 for speaking. Is that good?
You're going to do that daily?
Yeah,
Perfect.
inshallah.
Perfect. Inshallah. Perfect. That'd be perfect. You do that daily, you'll be fine. All right. Trad.
Yes, doctor. Is there a meeting tomorrow?
No, this is the last one, buddy. Today is Tuesday, right? Today is
Okay.
Tuesday.
Okay, I have a simple question.
Okay.
What subject do you recommend that I focus on?
Right now, what I want you to focus on is your listening and speaking. I want you to continue to listen to the news and do those read theories. Work on your listening and speaking. And then look at how the sentences are when you're reading on the read theory. Look at how the sentences are formed. Okay. And then go back and rewatch these sessions that are in the Google Classroom. Okay.
Okay, doctor. Okay.
Just practice, watch movies in English, Trad, and work on your speaking. Try to get a friend who speaks English to only talk to you in English. So if you have a friend that knows English well, tell them no Arabic, just talk in English. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
This is going to be a good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. There is another question I have. What is the mistake that a lot of people in my stage fall into? It's from Transit Google, okay?
Yeah. So a mistake that people fall into is waiting to the last minute to work. That's the biggest mistake I see, is that students wait to the last minute to do their work. Don't wait to the last minute. Make sure you look at that syllabus and work in advance. Ask questions. Another big mistake is what I told you about yesterday, not asking questions. Ask questions, all right? So the 3 big mistakes: not asking questions, waiting to the last minute, procrastinating, and then also not practicing, not studying enough. So create a study plan, okay? If you do those 3 things, you'll be fine. Okay.
Okay, I agree with you. There is a lot of people love the last minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't wait to the last minute to work. All right.
Okay.
And ask questions when you do not understand and study. All right. If there's no more questions, it has been a pleasure to spend the last month with you. I'm going to miss talking to you guys, you ladies, you gentlemen. And yeah, Regda. Oh, you give me clap. Okay. Thank you, Shahad. All right. If you need anything, just message me. Those people who are going to KSAU in Riyadh, you can come visit me in my office if you have any questions. And again, you can WhatsApp me anytime. Everyone be safe. I want you to have a productive year, academic year, and I am praying for everyone's success. We will talk soon. Masalama.
Dr.
Assalamu
Ray,
alaikum.
thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
every minute you teach us. I had fun with you. It's not just a class. It was fun, really fun. I love
Thank
your way for teaching, I mean, and
Thank
I'm really happy to know you.
Thank you. I'm happy to know you too, Jada. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Bye for now.
Thank you,
Masalama.
doctor. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.